garage. I'm really glad you're here. A place where we can laugh and talk and days are filled with cheer. The clouds of sun may come and go, but one thing's always clear. Welcome back, my friend. You know I'm really glad you're here. Yeah.
Hey, welcome back, my friends. I am really glad you're here. I want to welcome you to live stream number 144. It's January 8th, 2024. You know what that means? That means that Elvis Presley would be 89 years old today had he lived to be 89. Right? Speaking of old people, did you watch the Dick Van Dyke 98th birthday celebration last week? It was really touching. And the one funny thing he said was, if I knew I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself. So good times. Anyway, thanks for being here. Again, live stream number 144, January 8th, 2024. Welcome. If it's your first time here, what we do here on Monday nights, every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time, for 1 hour and 1 hour only, we get together and we kind of recap our week. We talk about what's going on in our world, and we talk about tractors and gardening and outdoor projects and DIY and anything that kind of comes to mind about living in the country and the rural lifestyle. So that's what we do. If it is your first time here on a live stream, please say hi in the live chat and let us know that you're here for the first time. We'd like to welcome you. Also, let me know how you found the channel. Was it on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of those platforms? And then be sure to come back and see us every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Fun fact about these live streams, they're different than the content that I put out during the week, as you know, if you follow the channel. This is just a way to get together and, catch up with one another. It's different, I know. And fun fact, these live streams do not help grow my channel. I do this because I enjoy coming together with you each week. But the fact is that there are often negative subscriber count on these live streams. For some reason, some people don't like them. Usually like one person is like, I'm out of here. -1 subscriber on that live stream. Oh well. But it's always a net positive at the end of the week, which is fine. And I'm not about, strictly about growing subscribers, but I like to have new people join and follow along. And of course, they want to fit in with the content. I get that, but just kind of funny how uh, these live streams are not a channel grower um, at all. But regardless, I do appreciate it when you hit that thumbs up button. I see a couple likes from Facebook already. I do appreciate that. If you're on YouTube, click that. If you happen to be tuned in, you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and check out the other content. Well, tonight I want to talk to you about, not necessarily talk about the weather. I mean, that's such a generic topic, but I do want to talk about being prepared for the winter and what you're doing in your geographical area to prepare for winter. Here, winter is not what it once was, and I think that's kind of the case everywhere. I see, folks like Ross up in Canada, and I don't know what John's gotten there in Minnesota, but Ross has not gotten the snow that he normally would have at this time. I see a GP Outdoors; he's been plowing some snow, but I don't know what it is in comparison to other years. We had no measurable snow last year, and don't know what's going to happen this year. It's weird because I am kind of known for saying I don't like winter. Ann will say, "You got to stop saying that. Like, stop wishing the time away and quit complain." I don't complain, but it's like just always the older I get, I'm like I don't like winter. Today I was outside. This morning I went out. I walked in the woods with Hachi, and I was walking around. I saw, I guess they're what are they, daffodils coming up? Is that the word? I forget what they are. The little green things that come up in the spring, but they're up like 3-4 inches. And I'm like, that's not right. And I had this kind of feeling washed over me of, you know what? I kind of miss winter. Like, not that I don't want it really to get cold, but I do like the idea of things just kind of going dormant for a season. And this is it's really wonky how things are now, where it's not very cold and you got plants coming up and just doesn't seem right. So But anyway, I thought we'd talk about that. Let me look at the live chat and see who's here with us tonight. I want to welcome Mark from Manisto Key and Kent from Hope Construction. Kent says winter is coming. All right, it'll come. Last year I remember saying, "Oh, it's going to come. It's going to come." It never did. Never really did. Uh, so right now we're in the midst. The state. I'm in New Jersey, and the state of New Jersey is in a state of emergency. The governor declared a state of emergency for the entire state because tomorrow we're getting severe winds and rain, possible flooding in the afternoon. I don't know which areas are going to be worse than others, but the entire state is considered a state of emergency. And they're telling you that if you can leave work early tomorrow, leave work early, be home, don't go out, and don't take this lightly. It could be quite a storm. So power failures, all that good stuff. I don't have my generator hooked up at this house. I had the other house all set up. I mean, it took me years to get there. Had it all set up where the panel was safely backfed from the generator. I was able to. It wasn't an automatic standby generator, but it was a portable generator, and I was able to plug it in and feed the entire house. I have I think it's a 12,000 watt generator. I was able to backfeed the entire house. I could run everything except for the air conditioning in that house. My priority for installing a generator was sump pumps. Sump pumps were the priority. Hey, look at that thumbs up when I did that. S- Sump pumps were the priority. That's the reason I did it because I got tired of the basement flooding if it rained and we lost power, which generally was the case. That's when you would lose power. It seemed like the basement was always wet anyway, and then you lose power and you lose sump pumps. It was just a mess, and I got so tired of that. Of course, then we finally got the French drain like a year before we sold the house, and it was a beautiful dry basement for the first time ever, but still had sump pumps. And if you lost those sump pumps, even with the French drain in the dry basement, you're going to flood. So I still needed the generator hooked up, but at least the basement was always dry from that point forward. So generator was a priority, and the other priority was the well pump. So we would have running water and hot water. We could run it was an oil fired boiler at that house. The oil fired boiler would run, would heat the water and the heat. So we had heat, we had hot water, we had water pressure. The refrigerator freezer could run. I mean, we had everything we needed, and it was really nice. So I've not done that here. I was just saying to Ann tonight, all it's going to take is one storm, and I'll be like, that's a priority now. I've kind of not thought about it too much, but you go through one major outage and defrost your freezer and fridge and get water in your basement, and then that'll wake you up. So hey, Chevhead Ed, very nice. Received your mug and waiting here for the snow. Drinking out of it. Very nice. Thanks for that. Appreciate that. And I see Ross has been sending some stickers out. Kent got some stickers from Ross. That's great. Ross has some nice stickers. Uh, all right. BT Handy is here. Good to see you. And Bob Purrs and Phil from Peterson Farms of Little Nashville. Good to see you all. And our friend Chris from the Watershed Overlook. Greetings from the land of rain and just not quite cold enough for snow. Well, um, that's how it is, right? And there's David from RCAF Polar Express. Good to see you. So thanks for being here. I am looking forward to a little bit of a conversation. We're going to do a sticker giveaway tonight, too, like we do. So stay tuned for that. And that'll come up a little bit later on. Usually about halfway through, we'll do the sticker giveaway and then wrap things up. So there's a comment from our friend John at a Ritterbit will do. Hey, everybody, I actually cleared snow for the first time today all winter, just 1.5 inches. Okay. Yeah. Now, what would you normally have done by January 8th, John? And again, I know that Ross and David, you're all the snow pushers in the group here. So, what do you have now? What have you had to this point? And what would a normal year look like on first full week of January? What would you have normally had accumulation wise? Um, I hate the old saying of when I was a kid, but when I was a kid, it just seemed like we had a lot more snow. I remember making forts in the snow and playing up at my neighbor's horse farm, and the snow would bank up against the fence, and we would dig out these big cavernous uh, tunnels. And of course, we were littler, but um, it just seemed like we had. I mean, I know we had harder winters because there's a lake in town. I think it's a 45-acre lake, maybe 145 acres. I forget the number, but it's a big lake, and it was a place for ice skating for years and years. You haven't been able to walk in that lake now for probably a decade. Uh, there was a cow pond behind our house and a pasture. We had to walk back, which again, as a kid, it felt like we had to walk a mile to get to it. But there was a cow pond back there, and we would all meet up at the neighbor's cow pond and go ice skating. And that seemed like it was very frequent. So, so Jack has winter in your front yard. Well, how about that? Up in New Hampshire, you've got winter happening. That's good. Well, that's true. You did last week up north, New England area. You guys did have some good snow, right? So, but Jack's got a nice big new tractor. So I don't know if you have a snow plow for that or a snow blower for that. But I'm sure you're using it for all that. Uh, yep. There's Brutal Bob and Linda. Hello to you. That was good evening and hello. Goodo. There's Roger from St. Mary's, Ohio. Good to see you, Roger. All right. And there, Eric, thanks so much for letting us know that you're here from Fort Gay, West Virginia. Found us on YouTube. Love the channel. Thanks for being here, Eric. I do appreciate it. And you're in with good company here. A lot of good people in this live chat. I often say I'm merely the facilitator here. If you have questions, you can ask them, and people in the live chat will often chime in with better answers than I do. Which, by the way, forgot to mention, if you are new here and you have a question that you want me to answer, or for folks in the live chat to answer, post your question in the live chat just like this. Type in the word question followed by your question, and that helps it stand out. If you do all caps like that for the first part, that helps too, because there's a lot of comments go by and it's hard to keep up, especially because I'm just kind of scrolling by and I'm reading and talking at the same time, and I'm just frankly not that talented. It's just how it is. So Bob Purr says the wind is going to be there, bad there as well. Yeah, I think I read 65-mile-an-hour winds possibly coming. That's pretty serious. And the news was saying that not only with the winds, but it's going to be a soaking rain. The ground's already saturated. We potentially could be losing trees. Um, so could make a mess. But as long as they're trees that I can cut up for firewood, it won't be so bad. It won't be a total waste, right? I found another couple trees today. I was out in the woods this morning, and I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some like surveyor's tape and start tying off trees because I'm finding trees and then I forget where I saw them. So I'm gonna get this pink tape. I know I have some. I don't know where it is. We kind of lost it in the move, but I'm going to Tractor Supply tomorrow for something anyway. I got to get dog food or something. I'll get a little roll of that tape, plastic tape, wrap it around the trees. Because I found a couple today that they look to be standing dead oaks. They don't look healthy, and I thought I can drop those trees, and they're like a nice, maybe 12-inch diameter, which is a nice manageable size to be hauling out of there and splitting up. So I'm going to mark those, and that way, when I get a chance to get out there, I can practice dropping trees. I'll probably bring you along, and if the video is success, well, you know me, if the video is successful or not, I'll still show you. But I've not cut down any major trees. I've had a chainsaw forever, and cut limbs, cut dead trees, things like that. But I've never really worked on dropping trees in a kind of a critical area, or really focusing on where to drop it. And most of the time I've had to drop a dead tree, it's because it's leaning, it's already on a 45-degree angle. It's like, all right, I'm just going to finish it off. But these trees are kind of straight with a little bit of lean to it, so I'm looking forward to practicing my skills on seeing which way the tree is leaning. I guess you want to favor that, and then cut the notch and the hinge, and all these videos I've been watching about it. I want to be able to see if I can drop the tree exactly where I want. There's one of them where it's a real tall tree. It's a big tree, and it's leaning in a certain direction. And as I stand there, uh, I'm looking and seeing that I think it could drop between. There's like a 8 or 10 foot area between trees where I think if I could get it to go between those trees, it'd be a nice straight drop. So that's what I want to practice on. And then on top of that, it'll be nice firewood. That's the idea. A lot of folks with whole house generators, they are great, especially if you get one with, if you live in an area where you have natural gas, you're set because that you don't have to worry about running out of fuel unless the gas gets shut off because of an emergency. But otherwise, you're just good to go all the time. If you get one that runs on propane, you could have it hooked to a, 100, 500 gallon tank, who knows? And you'd have a lot of time there. It's runtime there. Mine again was a standalone generator. Is a standalone generator. It's the open frame construction type generator. It's loud. It's got like a 7 gallon fuel tank, but it'll run all night long, and it does a great job. I was looking at the Harbor Freight 9,000 watt inverter generator. Now 9,000 is kind of, I like that I've got a 12, but there are times I thought, I could go with a 15 kW, but I've got a 12. But Harbor Freight has a 9,000 watt inverter generator, which is nice because number one, it's a enclosed generator, so it's much more quiet. And the inverter generators put out a pure sine wave electric, which is a very clean electricity, good for electronics, or I guess not good for them, but just not bad for them. Where the construction generators give you power, but apparently they're not as good because it's not a clean type of power. I guess it can fluctuate. You can have spikes and things like that. Where the inverter generators are very clean electric. So I'm kind of curious about that Harbor Freight 9,000 watt inverter generator. I really have been tempted to pick one of those up, and still might. In fact, they just dropped the price on it. It was like $2,400 for the past few years, and now the new price is $2,200. I was in Harbor Freight just the other day, so they've dropped it by $200. You don't see that happen very often. And then here's a fun thing. If you go to Harbor Freight and you buy something, and then you don't go to Harbor Freight for a long time, you don't buy anything, you start getting these emails like, "Oh, we miss you so much." And I've been getting these emails, these "we miss you" emails with a 25% coupon, good for anything. A lot of times the Bauer equipment is not included. It's a 25% discount on any item in the store with basically no restrictions. Maybe if it's on sale, it wouldn't count. But so the generator is now down to $2,200. You take 25% off of that. That's a really good price. I'm not ready to do that. In fact, my 25% coupon just expired. But that's kind of a neat thing. Like I think the strategy is maybe even put something in your shopping cart. If you go online to Harbor Freight, create an account, put something in your shopping cart, but don't buy it. Just leave it there, and then their little algorithm will be like, "You forgot something in your shopping cart. Did you forget this? Do you want to buy this? How about 25% off?" So just be patient because they come out with good sales once in a while. Hey Neil from Dig Drive DIY, your whole house generator is sitting in a box in your barn. Um, yeah, like I said, one good storm, and that is going to become a priority. Not to mention, Neil, that's good content, hooking that thing up. But yeah, it's a little job to do that. I don't intend to hook up a whole house generator with there's a right way to do it. Um, with the what are the switches called? I don't know. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a switch, transfer switch. That's it. There's an automatic transfer switch where you wire crucial items into a panel that the generator will feed. So it doesn't feed your whole house, but it feeds essential items. And you wire these essential items. I guess you could wire everything into it, but you wire essential items into this transfer switch. Generator comes on, transfer switch automatically turns off the power from the power company, switches to the generator, so you don't have the danger of backfeeding the main power grid. And then when the power comes back on, the transfer switch senses the power's back on, switches back to main power, shuts off the generator, and you don't know any different. And life is good. My way of doing it was I don't, is this legal? I don't know, but I backfed the panel, or our panel was backfed by somebody. But there was a safety interlock switch on the panel, so you'd have to turn off your main breaker, slide up this safety interlock switch, and then click the generator breaker on that would then backfeed the panel. And what that did was, again, there was no way you could ever send power back through the grid, endangering the line workers. Terrible thing to do. So these suicide plugs that people make, they plug them into an outlet, and they turn off their breaker. That's dangerous. That's really bad stuff. So uh, the alternative is to just backfeed a single breaker, but use that safety interlock switch so that you cannot turn that breaker on until you turn the main off. It's kind of clever, and it does work really well. So I know this is kind of turning into generator talk, but that really is the ultimate, I think, for being prepared for bad weather. A lot of people there have whole house generators too. Good for you. That's great. Uh, David has 4 feet of snow right now, and 6 feet snowbank on the street. Wow. 6,500 watt Honda generator. The Hondas are really good generators. I did have the little Honda 2000 inverter generator, and what a great little generator that was. Quiet. So 6,500 is very nice. I don't know if it's an inverter that you have, but even if it's not, the Hondas are just good stuff. So I had this. We had this. Was it Superstorm Sandy? No, it was some other storm we had, and we were out of power for several days. You couldn't get a generator anywhere. We ended up going to Camping World, and they had a couple of these left. So we bought this Honda. What is it? EU 2000 inverter generator, super quiet. And at that time, again, I was just running the refrigerator, freezer, sump pumps, and it was doing the job. But it got to a point where I said, I want to be able to run the 220-volt well pump and have running water. So that's why I got rid of that generator. But it was a good one. Indeed. I love talking about generators. That would be a good topic to talk about more. I know we've talked about it in the past, but it's a good topic for sure. Um, Hello, Steve from Washington State. Good to see you here. A lot of people tuning in from Facebook. I think that's because the Facebook page is growing. We're getting a lot of new viewers on the Facebook page. I've said before, I feel like we kind of have a different audience on Facebook and YouTube. Some of you, are tuned into both platforms, but there is kind of a different audience on both, and we are streaming right now simultaneously to Facebook and YouTube, which is kind of neat. But yeah, a lot of new folks finding the channel on Facebook. So welcome if you're new from Facebook. Here's Francis is also from Facebook, from Ottawa, Ontario. Uh, Approximately 3/4 of a foot. Not well, no, wait, not inches, right? 3/4 of a foot is well, I don't know my. Thanks for doing the conversion for me. Appreciate it. Anyway, thank you, Francis, and thank you for the compliment. Appreciate it. Um, all right. Question from Chris: did you drop a pin on your phone's map? I didn't, Chris, and I even mentioned that in one of my last videos, and I forget to do that. Uh, I don't necessarily have to drop a pin, but maybe you don't know this about if you have an iPhone. It's probably the same for other phones, but with an iPhone, I found out that I can take a picture of a tree, and when you take a picture, you can turn on geotagging on your phone, on your phone camera. Some people don't like that because it's like, it could be dangerous. Like if you send a picture the geotag is in there, and somebody can find out where the picture was, I guess, taken. I guess that information is embedded with the picture. I don't know, but I'm not worried about that for now. So I take a picture of a tree, geotagging is on, and when you look at the picture, you scroll up a little bit, there's a map, and you can zoom into the map, and you can see precisely where that is, and then you can see yourself on the map and find your way back to it. So it's really a handy feature. The other thing the iPhone has that I just discovered this past summer, you could take a picture of a plant, and then when you go to look at the picture, there's a little circle with an eye for information. You click that, and then it'll have right on there, look up plant, and it will go through, it'll use the internet. I guess it's sort of an AI type thing, and it'll identify the plant. So I've been doing that with trees. I'll just take a picture of a tree where I can see most of the bark, and it does a pretty good job of finding out what the tree is. It knows leaves very well and plants, but that's a handy thing to do. So good point, Chris. I should have taken pictures of these trees and then I could look for them. But at any rate, the pink ribbon is going to be the key, I think. And that's a great idea, Bob, carrying marking paint in the tractor and side by side. That's a good idea. Of course, today I wasn't even out looking for trees. I was just out walking in the property, and I was out there with Hachi. She loves to run in the woods, and I just started seeing some of these trees. I had nothing on me, so. But if I go out specifically looking for them, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and Chevhead Ed uses X Hunt or OnX Hunt drop pins. That's smart. I know a lot of people that use that. I use an app called LandGrid, and I think it's kind of the same thing. And it doesn't have the interactivity with dropping pins and whatnot. I think if you pay for it, it will. But it has a free version, and I just use that to find property lines, and it's great. It's great. All right, so we're kind of all over here with our conversation, right? I'm going to look at comments and see if there's any comments or questions. I missed some comments and I see responses, and I don't know what you're talking about, but that's all right. Maintenance with Mike. Welcome, Mike. Winter's in BC. If anyone is looking for it, come and get it. All right. Well, Chris installed a generator with the interlock 5 years ago. I've only needed it for 6 hours. Well, that's already at least when you need it, you have it. I didn't use mine for a long time, but then we had a power failure and we were down for 24 hours, which after 2 hours, you're like, all right, let's get things going again. I would wait to hook up the generator. But after 2 hours, it's like, I think it's time to do this. And the electric company, they have an app too, and they give the estimated restoration time. And of course, that always moves. It's like estimated restoration time 11 p.m. And they're like, oh, we're getting close. Estimated restoration time is now 6 a.m. of the next day. So, yep. Okay, so all right. So we've gone through comments again. If you have a question, leave it in the comments and things you want to talk about. And yeah, so that's what we do here. Let's do this though. For the new people here, we're going to give away our favorite 3 stickers. The monochromatic version of the logo, the color orange version of our logo, not much of a logo, just a name and a circle, but of course our now classic 25,000 subscriber celebratory limited edition silver sticker. We're much past the 25,000 now, thanks to you. We're like at 42,000 almost, 41,000, something like that. So this is never to be printed again, but it was something we celebrated, 25,000. So all three tonight. I'm not going to put any restrictions on this, as a friend reminded me that it's a new beginning. It's a new year, and we're going to give everyone a chance to win. I should have turned that volume down. Sorry. So everybody will get a chance to win. It's up to you. You know, if you won these in the past, you might not want to participate just to give other people a chance to win. But I'm not gonna scold you if you already won. You know, if you can't help but enter again, well, that's up to you. So the way this works for those of you who are new, I'm going to put a word or a phrase on the screen, and this is for live viewers only, obviously. I'm going to put a word on the screen, and in the live chat, you're going to type the word or phrase exactly the way you see it, and then we will randomly pick a winner through the computation device that is in front of me right now. So, here's the word. Hashtag think snow. Now make sure you put the hashtag. Make sure you don't use any spaces. You can do uppercase or lowercase. That doesn't matter. But hashtag think snow. Just like that. Enter that in the live chat. And then we will draw something. See how BJ did it? Hashtag think snow. Allison, good to see you. Hashtag think snow. Mike, just like that. Getting lots of entries here. That makes it fun. See how Jerry did it? Hashtag think snow. Chris is obviously not entering to win tonight. Hashtag drinking coffee from my MCG mug. Thanks very much. By the way, if you like the mugs, things like that, you can buy that stuff. I don't push it too much, but if you go to shopmcg.com, it's a website. The website link takes you to the spring store, and you can buy a T-shirt. You can buy a mug. They are pretty nice mugs, I gotta say. But you can go to shopmcg.com and find that kind of stuff if you don't want to wait for the chance to win one. All right, let's get 30. We got 30. We should draw this. Anybody else going to enter? Oh, 32. I'm going to hit it. I'm going to do it. You've had your time. There it is. Let's see. The music stopped. The winner is... It's so exciting. It's Roy Miller. Congratulations, Roy Miller. You're the winner of these 3 fine stickers this evening. Congratulations, Roy Miller. Listen, Roy, here's what you need to do. Send me an email at contactmcgtv@gmail.com. I know it's kind of a long email. contactmcgtv@gmail.com. Write that down or watch the video in the replay. But I'll leave it up here for just a moment so you can write down contactmcgtv@gmail.com and send me your name and your postal address, no matter where you live, your name, your postal address, and let me know that you were the sticker winner for the January 8th Elvis Presley's 89th birthday live stream. Okay. Congratulations, Roy. By the way, remember I talked about going to Graceland. Was it last summer? No, it must have been the summer before because we just moved this last summer. Or did we go? I don't remember now. We decided we're going to go every 5 years. We'll see if that holds up. We've gone twice. It's a fun place to visit. I enjoyed it. Go to Graceland. Go to Memphis. Check out all the sights and sounds of Memphis. The Sun Studio we went to Graceland, went to the Civil Rights Museum. What else? I don't know. Oh, Beale Street. Good stuff. So, thanks. Thanks for being here and having fun with that. And congratulations. So, all right. Let's see. Let's look at some comments, and then we'll wrap things up shortly. I know we've had conversations about snow pushers in the past. You know, speaking of being prepared for winter, some of you have the snowblower. Again, we mentioned John Ritter and Ross have the snowblowers on their BX. David from RCF Polar Express has a snowblower 3-point rear mounted, which is, they both have their advantages, I think. Of course, the main advantage with the front one is that you're not racking your neck to go backwards. But what's nice about the one on the rear is that you don't have to take off your front end loader. You don't lose that functionality. You've got the snowblower in the back. You still can have your loader on the front. Where the front mounted ones, you've got to disassemble your loader, and you basically lose that for the winter unless you're changing back and forth. Um, so yes, I was using my stump grinder for counterweight, not intentionally. It's just that it was on there, and you got to have something on the back. So I just generally leave whatever my last used implement was until I change it out. I just leave some. I always leave something on the back of the tractor. The tractor is never used without something on the back. Um, a lot of times, my box blade is like the appropriate ballast and counterweight. So I'll throw the box blade on there if I'm doing any kind of dirt work. I don't leave the wood chipper on the back as a counterweight or ballast because it's just too bulky, um, just too much. Stump grinder is nice size, it's heavy enough, but that I don't leave the rototiller on there as a counterweight. So I guess I don't leave everything on there, but I'll always make sure I put something on there. So um, okay. Uh-oh, somebody said they were losing me. You having bad weather? Hey, David? I'm sorry. How did your heat temp investigation go? Oh, was that with placing the thermometers throughout the house? I think maybe that's what you're referring to. I bought 6 of these cheap, not cheap, inexpensive thermostats and what's it, a hydrometer, the to show the humidity. I wanted to see what the variation was throughout the house because we're just running the wood stove. And, so actually ended up ordered more. I ended up with a dozen of these, uh, thermometers, because they're really nice. They're like 2.5 inches square, but a nice display, nice size display. Um, they seem really well made. I like that they take a AAA battery, not one of those button batteries that are, not hard to find, but a AAA, you can have a box of them and they're just a lot more convenient. So anyway, I really like these thermometers. I the first 6 that I bought, I lined them all up on the table, turned them all on, and they were all within 1 degree of one another. So I think they're pretty accurate. Also, they were also within 1% of the humidity reading. You have to let them sit there for a while so they can adjust. But so anyway, I stuck one in the what we call the hearth room, which is the room where the wood stove is. That room, at times runs about 70. It was 80 degrees today, but it runs about 75 degrees sometimes. But today it was just because the day was like in the 40s. It was not a cold day. It was not a windy day. It was a sunny day. So we had a lot of solar energy coming through the windows. The stove was not even really cranking that much. We just had it turned down and the embers were burning. But we walked in, that room was 79 degrees. Um, Anyway, that room often runs about 75 with the stove cranking. Right around the corner is the living room. That's about 68 degrees. The bedroom is about 65 to 67 degrees. All the way up the third floor attic space is like in the low 60s. All doable, all very comfortable. This office where I am right now, the wood stove is right below me. So I have a kind of a heated floor here. I also have there's a hole in the floor right behind me it's an oblong hole. I don't know why somebody drilled it at some point for something, but it's like 4 inches by 1.5 inches or so, and it's an oblong hole, and you can feel the heat coming right through that little hole. So this room is incredibly comfortable. So there's one room in the back corner of the house, and that happens to be the bathroom, and that is not comfortable. That's cold. So we did turn the boiler back on because that room has heat from the boiler, and we have it set low. But at least in the middle of the night, when first thing in the morning, that room is warmer. So the boiler doesn't run all day long. It might just run at night to keep the bathroom warm. So we're okay with burning some oil, but We're definitely will be reducing our usage. Um, Excellent. Oh, there's GP, not GP Outdoors, GP Lewis. Bought 3 of those little guys. Well, I got 12 of them now. I put, like I said, 1 in each room, and, now I'm putting them out in the barn 'cause I'm just curious what the barn temperature is, and I even tried to put one outside because they're indoor only, but I thought if I put it under the porch, that'll be fine. That's almost like indoor. So it's the humidity in that room only still at about 30. Maybe you get 31 out of it. The other rooms are, they're 35% or 37%, so they're comfortable. But that one room, um, it's hard to keep it even at 30 with all that heat. So, um, so that's a fun thing. But anyway, thanks for using the link. I what I did I shared that link. Um, I don't know where I shared it. Facebook, I think. Maybe I shared it on YouTube as well, on the YouTube community page. So if you're interested, you can look that up, and there's a link, an affiliate link. It doesn't cost you anymore, but Amazon gives the channel a little bit of kickback for bringing you to Amazon, as a thank you to me for bringing you there. So do all your shopping through my links because anything you buy, uh, during your shopping is uh, is credit for me. So I'm being told that my live stream is freezing. Is that true? Is that happening? Oh, I'm back. Thank you. Yeah, look at that. All right. So now I am. How about that? I'm watching myself. Where even am I? There I am. I got thrown off. See, you're all saying I was freezing, but there I am. Look. Okay. Little delay here, but there it is. That's it. At least now I'll know. I used to have a second laptop going, and I would kind of watch the live stream on the other laptop just to make sure everything was okay. I haven't done that. I also used to have my Canon M50 uh, mirrorless camera set up as a webcam, and I think something changed with an upgrade in software or a firmware update, and it just hasn't connected. And I haven't really spent the time with it because I thought this kind of works okay using the webcam in the MacBook Pro, but that's it's just took the easy way out. I thought I don't need to set up that other camera. I do want to get it working again. It just had a lot of issues with it, and I think it's because of a firmware update. Apologies for the live stream breaking up. I don't know whether it's we're not having bad weather yet, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Um, Sometimes I'll do a internet speed test beforehand, and if it's too low, I'll kind of reboot the computer and stuff, and it clears things up. So that may be the case. Maybe I should have done that. So I could do that right now while I'm running this, running a speed test. It's probably gonna. Oh no, we're good. We got yeah 400 megabits upload or download, and we're at like 30 megabits upload, which is good. I had to pay for the gigabit internet, which still isn't gigabit. It's the Comcast thing, uh, but it is faster. And because we moved here, it's counted as a new customer. So we got like I don't know, was it 1 year or 3 years of gigabit at like $90 a month? Pretty fair. But as soon as that changes, they're probably going to jack it up, and you have to go through the routine of threatening to cancel your service. And I don't know. I don't know why they just don't keep it the way it is. So let's see what comments I might have missed other than the fact that you're freezing and we can't see you. Freezing up. Mm, okay. Mikey, thanks for asking about the viewer pictures. For a while there, I was showing viewer pictures, and quite frankly, it just took some time to take the viewer picture. I had to put it into Photoshop and create a frame around it so it would fit the format here, and just haven't done that. So I apologize. Maybe we'll pick that up again at some point, but I haven't been receiving any pictures or showing any pictures. It's kind of fun to do. But I just haven't done that. So I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna be doing that too much. Maybe we'll do like a special. Maybe we'll do like once a month viewer pictures. That might be better, and that way I can kind of take the time to put them in order. So John's waiting for Verizon 5G in the area. Not consistent yet. Yeah, I don't know how good any of that stuff is. I was curious about the um, Starlink and from what's the company? I don't know, Elon Musk, but anyway, the Starlink, and it was not available in this area. But a couple years ago, I paid the $100 pre-order because I wanted it to come to the area. So I thought the more people who pre-order would kind of, I don't know if that would influence them or not. I have some friends who, we're very fortunate to have internet on this road. We live on a very rural road. Just a road further away from here, there's no internet at all. They have nothing. They went with satellite, which was garbage. But there are several people in our community who do not have internet. Uh, so Starlink became available last year, and um, so now people have access to that. And I was very tempted to try it because it has much higher upload speeds than what I have here, even with cable, higher download speeds. And I did some more research, and research led me to come to the conclusion, based on opinions of other people, that you just can't match a hardwired connection yet. So I stuck with the cable internet. It's reliable for sure, other than the fact we were glitching tonight, but generally it's reliable. I didn't go with the Starlink, so I got my deposit back. But at least it's in the area, and I wish I could test it out. I mean, I could pay the. You have to pay. It was like $100 fee to um, to secure it or reserve your spot, and then once that was became available in your area, then you had to pay $400, maybe $500 for the equipment. You buy the equipment, which is better than renting it, I think, but still you had to buy the equipment. Um, and then I could have tried it out for 30 days and sent it all back, but I just didn't, I just didn't do that because again, from what I was told, you do have more outages with satellite internet. Regardless, it's a little more finicky, and I know it's going to get there. I think that we'll get to a point where it'll all be wireless. I think wired internet will just go away. Um, I mean, heck, look at telephone lines around here. People have complained about bad telephone lines because they're old copper lines. Phone company's not running fiber anymore in this area. Folks like us have done away with our landlines years ago. We have no hardwired phone lines coming in. Of course, the cable company offers telephone through their cable lines, but we just did away with all that and went with wireless only. And that's kind of where I think where things are going. So, yep. Yeah, funny, John. Groundhogs are chewing the internet line. They better they better not be. I've not seen a groundhog around here. There are burrows in the woods. I don't know if they're groundhogs or fox or skunk or whatnot, but probably groundhog. But we haven't seen any. So I think that good old Hachiko has probably frightened them away. So, oh, that's true. Ross's dogs did chew his fiber line. I remember that. Not fun. And Peterson Farms, the only option you have is satellite, and that's okay. Like if I didn't have the option of cable, I think the Starlink would be. I'd be so happy to have that. So I've seen other channels. I think Stony Ridge, Josh has it because he doesn't have other cable, and his upload download speeds are amazing. Um, I think I think Andrew from Kelly's Country Life has has Starlink, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, but there's a lot of rural content creators that's all they have is Starlink, and I know they're happy to have it. So that's the case there. But um, yeah, 150 a month says Phil. Well, there's also some places have competition where we have cable internet, and then there's Verizon Fios, I guess, which is fiber internet, where you might have options, but we don't have options. We just have the one. It's a monopoly, I tell you. It's a monopoly. But um, so there's really no. When you threaten to leave, it's like, oh yeah, and then what are you going to get? But at least now I can say we're going to go with satellite. We'll try that. Don't know. So some conversations about the old antifreeze testers where you would I haven't used one of those for years, but yeah, you would little tester, you suck up some antifreeze from your car, and then it has little balls in there, and then the balls would float if the antifreeze was good or sink or something like that. I haven't used one of those for years and years, and I don't know. Does it go bad? I mean, I luckily I have newer vehicles that just they hold the antifreeze. Years ago we had old cars and they would just run out of antifreeze, and don't know. But I'll confess, I do not check my antifreeze consistency or potency at all. Again, though, we're not dealing with brutal winters. Maybe if we lived in an area where winter was severe, I'd probably be a little more focused on that kind of stuff. So, thank you, BJ, for reminding folks to hit that thumbs up. I do appreciate it. I see a number of thumbs up from Facebook. I can't see the thumbs up on YouTube, at least not yet, not through this platform. So, and that one week we streamed to Instagram too because they come up with a new way to do that, but that was kind of clunky. So I only tried that once. Maybe we'll do that again some more in the future. But anyway, that's how that goes. I'm going to look at the comments here and just see what I may have missed or might have missed. So, hey, David Martin mentioning a lot of campers using Starlink. Now, from what I understand, when I was looking at Starlink in the past, it was not easy to make it mobile. Like you had to pick a location, and I think you were kind of stuck with that, or you had to update your address. So I don't know if they've changed it now where you can make it totally portable. That is really beneficial if you can do that. If you're a traveler like us with the camper, I would love to be able to be on the road and have the Starlink hooked up anywhere at all. Uh, I don't know if it's gotten easier, but from what I understand, it was not an easy process that you had to pick an address, get to your next location, change your address. I don't know much about it, but uh, the portability of it is really really great. Especially again, if you're a content creator and you're traveling, a lot of these vloggers, they travel around, they create content, they need to upload it. What a great thing for that. Speaking of campers, and speaking of preparing for winter, yesterday I finally winterized the camper. I was putting it off and I thought, you know what? I don't want to do this the day before we have a threat of freezing weather. And it's not a bad thing to do. It's pretty easy to do. I use 2 gallons of antifreeze, RV antifreeze, and it's kind of a fun process. You drain the water heater, you drain the black tank and the gray tank, and the low point water lines. Everything drains out. You bypass the water heater, and then there's a hose where you can suck up the RV antifreeze, and you run it through all the cold water lines, and you run it through all the hot water lines until pink fluid comes out of all the spigots, and then you're basically done. Um, and then what I do is I just let it drain down. So that's what I do. That's what I do. John, I see a super chat there, and I really do appreciate that. That's really kind. I don't know where the comment is. I don't see it. There it is. Anyway, thank you, John. I appreciate that. It's very kind. Very nice. Uh, so the camper's winterized, and I feel good about that now that we don't have to worry about one broken line, and you'd be kicking yourself. So, but who said Bob winterized yours 3 months ago? Well, I guess you live where you need to. We still aren't really in any kind of threat of cold weather. It's like I think in the upper 40s, low 50s the next 10 days or so. Um, but I did have an RV in the past that before I got it, I guess they didn't winterize it, and no, maybe it was my fault. But the faucet on the sink cracked because of the winter, and so now I've gotten really good at not only do I winterize it, but then I also leave them open. I leave the drain lines so that as very little liquid is in those lines as possible. Uh, and what is down there either won't freeze or that RV antifreeze just kind of gels up and doesn't expand like water does and crack the lines. So yeah, Bob's in single digits. That's uh, that's cold. That's cold. I don't really like that. I wouldn't mind a little bit, just like snow. Wouldn't mind a good snow, but not for long. Not for long. So anyway, so look, another Monday, start of a week. Glad you're here. Thanks again for watching the content, for subscribing to the YouTube channel, for following the Facebook page. Remember you can check out TikTok and Instagram too, and I'll put pictures and things up there. It's a great way to stay connected. Uh, it means the world to me that you're supporting me just by watching, and it's just really it makes all this that much more fun. So I appreciate being here. I appreciate you uh, joining along and following along and all that you do. I hope you have a great week, and I hope that you're prepared for winter and that nothing catches you off guard. So thanks a bunch. I appreciate it. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next time.